just as the air thickened with sorrow and despair in the royal courtyard, and as hope drained from the eyes of the people, a small voice rose from the crowd. "I will take the strokes." Gasps rippled through the gathering. All eyes turned to the speaker, only to see a strange and unlikely figure step forward. Obilagwu, the village dwarf. With a head unusually large and a stature barely reaching the waist of an average man, Obilagwu's presence immediately ignited laughter and ridicule. "Is this a joke?" someone jeered. "Let the wind not blow him away at the fifth stroke." But Obilagwu stood firm, his chest out, his steps steady. He was a man of sharp mind and unshakable spirit, despite his physical limitations. The king looked at him with surprise, uncertainty stirring in his regal eyes. "You?" King Obanifo asked, stepping down from his throne to meet him directly. "Do you understand what you are asking for?" "I do, my king," Obilagwu replied without flinching. "Let me save the princess. Let me save you. Let me save the kingdom from this disgrace." The king hesitated, then with a respectful nod, gestured for a table to be brought forward. "Stand here," he said, "so all may see your face and your courage." Obilagwu climbed onto the table, standing upright, his head glistening under the sun. The crowd burst into laughter again, pointing and shaking their heads. Even the guards struggled to hide their amusement. But the king, moved by this act of daring loyalty, offered Obilagwu a handshake in front of all. "May your courage speak louder than your height," the king whispered. Then the flogging began. The first stroke landed, and Obilagwu flinched but said nothing. The second came. Then the third. 10, 20, 30. The courtyard, once ringing with cruel laughter, began to fall into silence. No one expected him to last even 10, yet he pressed on, lips sealed, eyes burning with determination. At the 50th stroke, a few villagers began clapping softly. By the 60th, the guards lowered their eyes in awe. At the 70th, the princess herself stood, tears streaming down her face. "Go, Obilagwu," some shouted, "endure." By the time the 80th stroke landed, the crowd had transformed. Cheering replaced laughter, praise drowned out mockery. Obilagwu had shifted the tide of history with sheer will. Then suddenly, 4 of the king's chiefs stepped forward and bowed low before him. "Your Majesty," said Chief Omukunda, his voice urgent, "forgive our interruption, but we must speak with you before the flogging continues." King Obanifo raised an eyebrow. Is it not clear he is close to fulfilling the task? Why halt now? Chief Adabaro spoke up, his tone bitter. "Because it will shame every able-bodied man in this land if a dwarf becomes heir to your throne and husband to the princess. How will history remember us? What will other kingdoms say? That we stood by as a small man of twisted bone claimed a prize no warrior could bear?" The crowd quieted, whispers spread like wildfire. The king's gaze shifted from the chiefs to the brave figure still lying on the table, battered but unbroken. A decision stood before him. Would he uphold the challenge he himself had declared, honoring the only man with the heart to see it through? Or would he bend to pride and hierarchy and rob Obilagwu of his earned place? The wind held its breath, and so ends Part 2 of Strokes for Love. Will the king let honor triumph over pride? Or will tradition and prejudice cast a dark shadow on Obilagwu's victory? Subscribe now and stay tuned for Part 3, where destiny stands at a crossroads and one king's choice will change everything.